everybody, welcome back to the garage. Lord, it's another beautiful Saturday up here in the upstate, and today we're going to be working on my mother's car. So my mother has a 2002 Dodge Neon, her little car. She's had it since it was new in 2002, and she is that prototypical little old lady who just puts around in her car and drives it to church and back and forth to visit her sister, and that's it, okay? And I mean, no joke, it's 2002 Dodge Neon, and it's only got about 100,000 miles on it, and we're going to put some brakes and rotors on it today and change the oil and just check it out good for Mom and get her going good. Alright, so Mom's not here yet. It won't be just a few more minutes and she'll be here, and we'll pull in and we'll get the car jacked up and we'll get down there close and get to work on it. Alright, my sweet mama's got here with her car and we're getting ready to go to work on it. Give me some sugar, Mama. Alright, tell them hey.
Hi.
Alright guys, here we are. We've got the left front tire off of this thing, and we're going to pull off the caliper here with the brake shoes in it, and we just got to do that by coming back here. There's a couple of small bolts, one here and one underneath. Take them loose, the caliper slides right out. The brake shoes pop, the brake pads just pop out of that, and then the rotor should just, you know, slide off then. It may be stuck, it's been on there a long time, but we'll get it off. Alright, now while we're right here at this point, I'm going to go ahead and slide this caliper here out. Nothing to it. Now, you can see here that these, you know, these brake pads, they're a long way from being worn out, okay? But they have been on there forever, and, you know, they make a horrible noise. And anyway, just for my mother's peace of mind, I'm going to put new brake pads on it. Sometimes you just do this stuff, and the fact that they know they're new, and it just makes them feel good, so it's worth it. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so the next thing we need to do here is we need to compress the piston on the caliper, and I'm going to leave that brake pad there in there, and I'm just going to take a regular old C-clamp, come in here and just gently close that caliper back up. Okay gang, here's our new pads. I'll pop them in. There's one. There's two. See how easy that is? Nothing to it. Alright, so next we got to get the rotor off. Alright, so now the rotor's loose. It's ready to come off. It's just held on with this little push-on job here that's just really for convenience more than anything. And I just got to pull that off of there, and we'll slap the new rotor on. One little quick piece of advice. When you've got your caliper loose like this, you want to be really careful to not let it drop. Even though it's got this brake line here, we'll keep it from hitting the floor. But what'll happen is if this thing were to fall off of here and snatch, it would damage the brake line. Believe it or not, it'll damage it internally. And what'll happen is you'll be riding down the road in a week or two, a month, and you'll put on brakes, and this particular wheel will not want to release, and it'll start burning the brakes up and all that. And that's because this brake line, if you damage it internally, it'll let fluid come by when you press the pedal, but it won't let it return when you let your foot off the brakes, and it'll cause this caliper to stick. Alright, so I want to be careful about placing it somewhere where it won't fall, or tying it up even. You know, sometimes you can take a little hook and tie it up here. Let me see if I can do that. see that hook there? Yeah, so I'm just, that way I can just kind of hang it up here. Keep it up. There you go. See, it's up off the rotor now. So I can pop this rotor off. Alright, so let's pull this old rotor off. So it just slides right off of there. Alright, here's our brand new rotor. There she is. All we got to do now is just slide the caliper back on. All right, another thing I want to point out to you here real quick before we put this caliper on is that if you'll notice right here, there's a little place there and another one back here, and let me tilt you down a little bit more, and down here this, and the same thing up here. These calipers have to be able to slide on that just a little, okay, over the life of the brake pads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little wire brush here and I'm going to clean it off, and then I'm going to take a little dab of what's called brake caliper lube, and I'm going to put just a little dab on these little points, just a little dab, not much, so that this thing can move free. Alright, so I'm going to do that real quick. With the brake change, brakes and rotors, left and right on the front, and I've already changed the oil, got that complete. And I want to show you something here. So this is the most important part of the entire operation. If you decide you're going to be a do-it-yourself, you want to do your own brakes, whatever on your car, please pay attention here. If you remember, we compressed the pistons in those calipers. So if you jump in your car and you say, man, let's go test drive it. Well, what's going to happen is this. You're going to slam it in gear and go to back out, and when you go to press the brakes, it's going to go to the floor because we pushed those caliper pistons back. So before you crank your car up, do anything, push this pedal a few times, get them pistons back out. So now this car is ready to be started up and test drove. All right, everybody, we're all done working on my mother's car, and she's already headed back to her house. You know, we did the front brakes on it, rotors and pads, changed the oil in the old car, and added a little bit of coolant, just a little bit. It was a little low, so I'm going to monitor that. And put a new air filter in it, took it on a good test drive around the neighborhood, swung by the gas station, filled her tank up for her, man. You know, these old ladies, they don't like pumping gas, man. Nope. So filled up her tank for her and got her ready to go, and she was happy. Car runs good, stops good, and so she's headed on back down the road. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all watching my video, man, out in the garage today. We got some more things to work on. In fact, in the very next video you're going to see after this one, we're going to look at what's underneath that sheet right there. All right, so come back. You want to watch it?